Flex Your Voice Content Marketing crafts promotional take action content that speaks to the masses. Hurt Poet LLC helps the empowerment industry and thought leaders flex their brand, value, and reputation because every voice is unique. Their branding pros and your unique message bring new traffic and new customers to your business. Contact Aleasia Hurt at hurtinpoetllc.weebly.com. That's hurtinpoetllc.weebly.com. Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margot Levette. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another edition of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. I am so happy to be here with someone. We always wonder who's writing the content, who's writing the copy, who created that commercial. Well, I have such said person with me today. I have a copywriter. She is an editor and authorship. This lady can take your words and just make you sound so very brilliant and just write your life story out if that's what you want. And I'm talking about Aleasia Hurt from Hurt Poet LLC. Welcome, madam.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, and I hate to timestamp events, but now that we are in the coronavirus era and that type of thing, and this thing is definitely going to go down in history, it is my earnest belief that this is a good time for people who know how to produce content and copy for entrepreneurs, because that's one heck of a freelance job. And now's a good time to reinvent. You've been saying you're going to do it. So that's the reason why we're having that conversation today.
Yes.
That's your wheelhouse. You can talk about it until the cows come home, as they say.
I can.
I want people to hear from the experts. So first of all, let's hear a little something about you. Have you always been a writer? What's your background? And I know that you have reinvented yourself a time or two also.
I have. So I went to college and majored in social work. So I've been doing social work, clinical therapy for about 32 years now. And on that platform, I've empowered many, many people over the years, many, many families. However, that is not my passion. So I reinvented myself in 2005. And let me back up. And at the age of about 10 years old, I started writing poetry. And so for a long time, that's the writing that I was doing. I was writing poetry. I started freelance poetry and things like that. And then someone said, then I started doing resumes. I was kind of all over the place, writing for all kind of businesses and things. And someone said, why don't you make this out of a business? So in 2005, long story short, I created Hurt Poet LLC, where I did a lot of freelance poetry. I did a lot of resumes. I did whatever type of writing, people pretty much asked me for.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and of course, over the years, the business failed because I didn't have the mindset that I needed. So at this point, new decade and all, I decided, hey, let's get this thing right, because this is your passion and this is how you want to end your years.
Wow.
So, and that's where I am right now.
I love the fact, and I'm going to take it back a notch. You said the business failed because you weren't ready. You know how many people would fall on the floor before they would admit that. And that's okay. You gave yourself permission to own that. So now when you owned it, now you on to here we are talking about your business. That's powerful. Wow.
That's right. And it, to me, it's a blessing. To me, it's a blessing because everything that I was involved in, engaged in, or whatever, it may not have worked then, but now I'm seeing it come back. And I'm
Yes.
like, that's why God had me learn that. And it's manifesting itself. It's self-explanatory.
Yes. You couldn't receive all of it because you just weren't ready for it. And
Exactly.
it's like a little kid with a very expensive toy. Some toys you don't give to them when they're 1 year old. You have to
You're
wait
one
until they're
year old.
10. Yeah, I
That's
heard
right.
that.
That's right.
Let me tell you, take me back to I'm still stuck on the fact that I know in my heart of hearts that everybody who's in business, podcasters, uh, everybody needs content because we are in a society that we just want to learn, and many of us are lifelong learners. So a person, how do they come to that? I come to that realization that I really need to. I need to get in contact with Hurt and Poet. And I really need to sharpen this. Maybe it's my something that I want to write my intro or something like that, or maybe even a blog post. What kind of
Yeah.
folks do you find usually gravitate to you first and foremost?
Well, what gravitates to me is marketing. So I'm a marketing writer. So basically, everybody I feel needs. Now, I will say specifically, I have honed into my passion, and my niche is empowerment industry gurus and thought leaders.
Mm.
So that's where I am. So, ongoing content maximizes your impact and
Mm-hmm.
helps you grow your business first and foremost. So the first thing I would say to do is I give 30-minute consultations. Just give me 30 minutes and talk to me and tell me what you're looking for. So I see that, because it has to be run seamless through all channels. You got your website, you got social media, you got online, digital, and print. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to a networking event outside of digital, then you need some print to take with you.
Mm-hmm.
But you want that print to represent you because one of the major things is your reputation and credibility, right?
Yes.
So you want your content to be right when you go before the masses, before you go in front of people. You want to make sure that it's right. You want to be able to tell your story that when you talk to people, it's the same as what's on that print.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where content marketing, that's where flex your voice content marketing comes in. I literally become your brand after that consult if you would like choose to move forward. And you can do that on different platforms. You got your website, like I mentioned, you got blogs and articles, you got social media, you got marketing content to take with you. I mean, it's digital and literacy is where it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
People, and you mentioned, now is the time to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get all of that. You want to stand in front of your audience and be able to tell them exactly what your story is. What is your why? Why do you want to give them this service? Why do you want to be of service to your audience? Do you know who your audience is for real?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I had to learn. I had to learn who my exact audience is. I can't write for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I had to figure out who is your passion? Who is it that you really truly want to write for? So who is it that you want to really empower? And it's a saturated industry.
Mm-hmm.
The empowerment coaches and life coaches and speakers and consultants and people of that nature. So what is your story? What is your unique selling point that gets you in front of the masses and in front of your specific target audience? And that's what Flex Your Voice content marketing is all about.
Man, I tell you, when if that causes one, that right there, that will provoke you to sit and think and get clarity. And if I take it back, I hear you say you failed at first because of lack of clarity. Now look at you in a place where you are able to hone in and help somebody else get clarity.
That's
See?
right. And to
Because
me, that's empowerment in itself.
oh, yeah, and how much money will you save? A ton of money because you're clear.
That's right.
Mm, mm.
That's a great point. Great point. Because
I've
I
wasted
certainly
money.
lost a lot of money.
Me too.
You know
Me
what I'm saying? I certainly lost a lot of money trying to learn this thing.
too. So then that takes me to another point. This is I hear you speak, and you are in your lane. For a person that is not clear, for a person that wants to get into this saturated market, you are able to help them find their voice, which separates them from the pack. So just because it's saturated doesn't mean, oh, I'm not going to get over there because I'll never get any business. No, the lady's just
Exactly.
telling you, find your voice. She'll help you find your voice. And then let that same voice take you everywhere. Let it trail
Everywhere.
you, correct?
It's a long-term impact. I guarantee you, once you hone into that, it's long lasting. And you will be able to, when you go in front of the masses, in front of your audience, I guarantee you there is loyalty. These
Mm-hmm.
people will come back to you because they feel like you understand them. They feel like that they know that you know what their problem is and what keeps them up at night. And because you are able to solve that problem, you are able to hone in on your why you want to help them solve that problem and what their problem is, and you know exactly what that problem is, they're going to stick with you. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
be loyal because they feel like you listen to them. And
Wow.
that's the key.
Mm. That's saying a lot. And it sounds elementary, but so many of us stumble over that and we bumble over that and we just push it to the side and we want to force our way through. But that is the force of
That is the
moving through.
force.
It is the
Yes,
force.
you're right.
If a person needs to get in contact with you because the continuity and the consistency of how you represent yourself social media, even speaking in person. If a person's just take the podcast for example. If I'm up here popping my lips and because I'm on a podcast, I do a podcast and then I get out and I'm ghetto as all heck, people, it's going to be like apples and oranges versus why don't you just go ahead and find your voice and be you, do you, and you're not going to be for everybody, but for those that you are made for, it's going to be a good win and they're going to feel you. That's exciting to me.
Yes, yes. It's all about connecting. It's all about collaboration. It's all about honing in and tuning in to what people want. And you made a great point just then. You're not going to catch everybody because, truthfully, content writing is a saturated industry as well.
Mm,
But we all have our unique voice as well.
mm-hmm,
So, in that, I can really relate to the people that I write for.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm,
in understanding that, I have to make sure I tell you why I feel like I can solve their problem.
mm-hmm.
And with my background as an empowerment in the empowerment industry of helping folks clinically, I translate that and bridge that with my writing. And I think that's my unique story
Yeah,
that no one else has.
that's the secret sauce.
Secret
Wow.
sauce.
Wow. And if you can figure people out and implement that in part and make that a part, pair it up with the writing, you're
It's
going to touch
paramount.
them. Yeah. You're going
Yes.
to feel them. They're going to know that you know them, that you see them. And yeah, you are the best fit for them out of everybody. I had one guy recently tell me he didn't want to do an interview with anybody else. He researched me. And you know what? Everybody listen up on this one because I was told this before, but I really heard it today. People research you and they look for your consistency, and they
Yes.
find out that way whether or not you're a good match for them. He was very intentional, and we had a really good interview because he did his homework. He didn't just throw some bread out on the water and hope it'll come back. He
But that's
already
right.
knew. Girl, the man, he was on it. I had to give it to him. I really, really did. But this type of thing makes for long-term relationships,
Relationships.
as
Yes,
the same with
absolutely.
a content writer, authorship. I would imagine that kind of relationship with a client is very dear and personal.
It is, Margot, and I'll tell you, I have made some great and built some great relationships and loyalty. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? It's because I have package deals. I can do one thing for you, and then it's not a bye bye. You can always come back to me and say, this is what this content did for me. How
Mm-hmm.
did I do that? I give complimentary things. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not all about the money. It's
Yes.
also about building those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, but we all want to have a place in this world, and being able to effectively do that
Mm-hmm.
is huge. It's key.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would like to do. And as far as the research part, that's huge as well. Because if you a coach, if you a speaker, you got to build your audience. Your audience is going to look you up, and
Oh
they're going
yeah.
to see that consistency. And when you
Mm-hmm.
have that content that's all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to see that, and that's going to deter a lot of the people that you want to talk to, that you want to get in front of. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why from the jump, you need to have that right content to tell those people that hook, if you will, to
Mm-hmm.
get those people interested. Then they'll go and look further, research further, just like that gentleman did with you. You
Mm-hmm.
had that hook, and you were honed in to what can do for them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why loyalty was established.
Wow. It really was. I mean, I heard, but I really heard. So I thought, I
Right.
knew we were going to do have this conversation. I thought, let me be sure to bring this up because that is something that we all need to hear. And, and again, I hate to timestamp the conversation, but you said something earlier about collaborations.
Hmm.
And do you agree that in this time, even though there are 50 billion podcasters, there are 50 billion of everybody, we don't have to be jealous nor afraid of each other. There's plenty for everybody, but we must, it is absolute paramount that we collaborate. What's your thought on that? Collaborate, exchange skill sets and all kinds of things. What's your take on that?
Okay, so I agree, because everybody brings something unique to the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So regardless if you're in the same industry, or you're collaborating with someone in a different industry, to build that team is huge, because just like we mentioned before, there's someone for everybody. So you may connect as a podcaster to a certain geographic, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And another podcaster may not.
Mm-hmm.
Why? That's because your message may be different than the other person's message.
Mm-hmm.
So to collaborate will help build each other. We're building and helping one another. So
Yes.
that's the collaboration is huge, especially now,
Yes.
because I collaborate with other writers, and I'm hoping to build a team of writers, if you will.
Yes.
I'm hoping to build that team of the resume writer,
Mm-hmm.
the ghost writer, there's so many types of writers. The book writer. I want
Mm-hmm.
to build a team of all of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that collaboration is huge to help all of us grow. I think it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing idea, especially this day and time.
Oh
So
yeah.
I agree with that totally.
I don't think the Lone Ranger is going to come out very well on the other end. I really, really don't. This because
Right.
these times are so uncertain. I mean, this virus has really uncovered quite a few cracks in the armor, and there's a leak in the dam. And as my mentor and strategist said, the genie is out of the bottle. So we're all going to have to rethink how we approach business, how we approach and keep ourselves visible during this time. I just heard you
Exactly.
speak of, and you used the word a couple of times, team. We all have to build a team because we can't do it all.
We
You
can't
don't
do it
even put it
alone.
on yourself to know everything. I'm not about to try to write 50 billion commercials and ad reads. I'm not trying to do that. But here's a lady that this is what she does. So speak to that. What do you think about that? Elaborate a little bit more about this thing of team building and how it strengthens us all.
Right. So team building strengthens because we have our own personal savvy skill sets
Mm-hmm.
that can help other people grow. So when all of us have come together and we have those skill sets, it can be something huge. And I feel everybody that we have a team, there's other teams
Mm-hmm.
that, so we all going to make sure that this team over here, we're doing what we need to do to grow our businesses. We're not going to grow alone. We can grow together.
Mm-hmm.
One
Mm-hmm.
can't outdo each other. It's not a competition. It's all about growing together.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody, they're doing it over there. Why shouldn't we do it over here?
You know it. You know it. Plus,
So that's what I feel.
I totally agree. I mean, we are on the same page on so many levels on all of these thoughts, because when I had a chance to speak at a Staples store here in Chino Hills, California, and the subject that the Lord gave me to speak on was the different thing. Okay, you want to be a podcaster, maybe you don't want to be a podcaster, but podcast industry is huge. There are a myriad millions of different things that you can do in that industry and be a freelancer and make a pretty good paycheck out of it. And
Hmm.
content writing was something that I brought up to everybody because, man, you fool around and get you 5, maybe 6 podcasters that need your service. That could really grow into something. So we kind of have to be creative and think out of the box as far as our skill set and
Out of the box.
yeah, build up a team and say, hey, I need this ad read written. And then, okay, I have the person that can do that. And then somebody says, oh, I need a graphic artist. Oh, I know somebody who can do that. Everybody bring their skill to the
Skill
table
set
so
to the
that
table.
stuff is done.
That's
Yeah.
right. And one thing I like, I can be the first to say I can't be a podcaster because that is not my skill set at all. But I love connecting with people in that industry
Mm-hmm.
because I like my voice to be heard. So if I write for you and you
Mm-hmm.
say that,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that's a win-win for both of us. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because I have the authorship of what you're saying on your podcast. Hey, I think we both have won because I helped you hone your message for your podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
you helped me justify and confirm that that's the love, the passion that I have. So I think that whole thing is a win-win, and that's a team.
Well, you know what? The perfect example is at the very top of this podcast. There is your ad read. And I mean, that just brings it in perfectly, what you just spoke of. You wrote it, I announced it, and
Yeah.
everything, the rest is history.
The
That's the
rest is
way it's
history.
supposed to be. That's the
That's
way
right.
we need to operate in 2020. We didn't see this sea of change come up. Well, some of us didn't, but it's here. So let's think outside of the box. Let's connect. I don't want, you know what? I'm looking at the time. I just have one more question, dear lady, for you.
Sure.
You are a copywriter,
Yes.
editor. authorship. You pretty much, if a person gets in contact with you, you are pretty much able to rise to the occasion of writing pretty much anything, I would say, and adding that human aspect, correct?
That's absolutely correct. That
Okay.
it's your voice. You are human, and this is your why. This is your story. Let me tell it for you.
Wow. Will you tell people how they can best reach you? If somebody wants writing samples, are they available for requests? And I'm just trying to cover, because you know how some people are. They want the sun, the moon, and the bears and the stars before they give over any cash, you know.
And that's fine because I will give them all of that. So feel free
Yeah.
to first you can go to my website, Hurt and Poet llc.weebly.com. So that's Hurt, HURT, as in Nancy, Poet, all one word, llc.weebly.com. That's my website. I have a Facebook page, Twitter page, and I'm on LinkedIn. So you can find, just type in Hurt and Poet, or you can type in my name, Aleasia Hurt, and you will find me. I'm everywhere on social media. So hit me up on Messenger. My Messenger is always open and always available. So feel free to contact and look me up there.
Wow. See, that's why I like to have these conversations, because people, I'm big on know, like, and trust. It was something that my mentor spoke of all the time the first year we worked together. And I do believe in the power of a person talking about their business their own way, because there's nothing like it. It's just so magical. And when I heard you on a webinar speaking about content writing, and I saw you light up, and I know that you're a shy person. You really, really
I
are a
am.
shy person, but you are finding the courage to come out of your comfort zone and doing the doggone thing. When
Thank you, thank you. I have to.
oh,
I had to get from behind that
yeah,
computer, and I had to be seen.
that
So
gotta be seen, stay seen. But when I heard you speak, that's what let me know that you know exactly what you're talking about as far as content and that type of thing. So everybody listening, listen to this
thank
conversation more than one time, because she really gave us many gems and nuggets. And at the end of the day, if you are not a writer, then it's okay. Give yourself permission to hire somebody, because another thing that comes to mind about these days that we are in, we don't have a lot of time to try to learn everything, and how to write everything. If that's not your wheelhouse, if that's not where you are resoundingly brilliant, well then, you know Aleasia Hurt is right here. This is her thing, and we have to get away from having everything hidden to ourselves because we're afraid somebody's going to steal it. You're just get it out there, and Aleasia can help you get it out there.
That's
And
right. But I do want to make a point right there. Now
okay.
I have did some content for people who are great writers,
Mm,
but guess what? They just don't have the time.
okay.
And so I wanted to make that point too. That
Okay.
some people just don't have the time, and
Mm,
they want to focus and concentrate on what they do, what their wheelhouse is. So they just want to hire somebody else to do the writing part because that's not their forte. They love to write, they can write,
yeah.
but they just want to hire somebody else to do it because they want to do their thing.
Mhm.
So I just want to make that point as well.
That's cool. That's a very valid point. Very valid, because time is limited, and according to
Yes,
projects and the amount of focus that one needs, yeah,
yes,
that could get kind of dicey and kind of sticky.
exactly.
Pass it along and keep the wagon train moving so that you're not overly stressed. We put too much stress on ourselves trying to do
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Man. So, any parting words from the wordsmith here?
All I can say is if you don't choose me, make sure you choose somebody because content is important and I just want you to succeed.
Sounds good. sage advice from, and she's not a novice. This lady's been doing it for a while. And the unique hook selling point is that she puts the human aspect to it. It's not like when somebody reads her writing, it's not like you're reading a script of that type.
Right.
It's a script, but it's alive. It is totally.
It's a lot. It's not technical. That's what I like to say. It's not technical. It's speaking. You're speaking directly to your audience.
Wow. That's the way we were supposed. That's the way we receive information. So,
Yes.
wow. You know what? This lady and I, we could go on and on and on.
On and on.
Right. I want to leave everybody with good information, and you have done just that, Aleasia Hurt. You've given them solid direction, how to information, inspiration. So thank you for this time. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Oh, we're going to do this again because, people have to hear it more than one time. They have to be reminded that it's okay not to be able to do it. It's okay. And as Aleasia said, it's okay not to have time to do it. It's okay. It doesn't make you less than anything. You're still brilliant. You're still stellar. It's okay. Give yourself permission. So.
And you have a story. You need to tell it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Indeed. So I know I'm going to get in contact with the lady because I'm not about to try to write any ads. That's not my thing. I've done it, but I can't want to. So.
That's right.
Oh, man. I'm Margot Levette. Going to close this another episode out, and another great episode. Aleasia Hurt and Poet LLC. She has poured into our lives, and wow. As always, I guess I'll say I'll be back next week, and in the meantime, just take care. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Flex your voice.
Yeah, flex your voice. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.